Welcome back to UCSS. We just got done arguing, talking, fussing, and fighting about the Cleveland Cavaliers playoffs coming up.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What you think Tyvis' favorite Luther song of all time is?
Never Too Much.
I can see that.
Let's bring him on in.
Let's ask him.
Tyvis, what's up, man? How you doing?
Look, she know me like a bug. Never too much, never too much.
I told you the shoulders is moving. Speaking of
Hilarious.
Hey, speaking of your shoulders look like you got smaller. What you been doing, bro? You been shrugging or something?
Listen, bro. I'm in the gym. You know, Mike McNuggets done set up this thing. I think we aiming for May where I got to steal from first to second. So, you know, I got to lose. I got to drop a couple pounds. You know, I've been back in the gym doing dynamic warm-ups. I tell you what's an underrated thing? I used to frown on people that walk on the incline. I did it. I did like the incline on 10 on the treadmill, and I had the speed on 2.7. When I tell you, I about fell off that treadmill. You know how hard that is? I got a new respect for anybody that walk on the incline. I apologize.
Base on Cooper Ingle, Tyvis? What is wrong with you?
Tyvis,
Cooper going to change his name. Listen, Cooper going to get that pitch. They going to throw him the ball. When he look up to throw it, he not going to throw it because I'm already be standing there. He going to be like, dang.
Hey man, Tyvis, get your hip flexors loose. Get your hip flexors loose.
Listen, I'm not even gonna stretch. G, for what?
This guy. Speaking
you
of,
ever seen a cheetah stretch?
Shut up.
Yo, this dude is wild. I'm trying to think about what his next adventure gonna be. Next, he gonna go Robbie Knievel. I want to jump Tower City.
No. So you got to be half crazy to do something like that. And I'm very sane, and I got kids, so I can't be doing stuff like that no more.
Speaking of going crazy, what is the crazy take today? Last week you got us into this basketball with Drew Holiday noise. What's the take today, man? What are we talking about?
Well, it's funny because I'm sitting in the Browns studio, so it has to be Browns related. You know what I'm saying? I've been sitting back thinking about this one for about a good week and a half now, right? And I'm looking at the AFC North, right? And I'm looking at the teams, and I'm looking at everything that went into it. And my take is that the Browns will win the division this year. Now, listen, before y'all get all up in arms and before Zach get the itching in his seat and whatnot, listen, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out, because I know Zach like a book. He sat up like this with them hands. He got them hands ready to go.
He did do that. That's crazy.
Look, listen, hear me out. This is why I say that. All right, y'all would admit that there was 3 coaching changes in the AFC North, right? And y'all will admit that typically when you get a new team and a new coach, there is a period where people have to buy in. You gotta test this coach out. You gotta understand if this is the right guy. Am I gonna follow this guy, right? And I think looking at Todd Monken and looking at where the Browns is and how they are building their roster up this offseason, they really trying to get back to the trenches. Now, games is won and lost in the trenches, and the Browns have been doing exactly that, fixing that up. I think they'll win a lot more games because they fixed their offensive line. The defensive line has already been good. I think that will help there. But I think Todd Monken is going to do a really good job of getting these players to believe in themselves. I think that's the number one thing that the Browns have to do. They got to have that confidence, that cocky swag. When they had that, that's when they went to the playoffs and looked really good. Obviously, the playoffs, whatever it was, what it was. But still, I think that Todd Monken brings the same type of attention and the same type of aggressiveness that we just lost in Jim Schwartz. So I think that offensively, we will get that swag on that side of the ball. I think defensively, they're already going to have that because they've seen that they are that guy. They are those guys. I think offensively is where we didn't have that confidence, and I think Todd Monken brings that. And I think that they actually will go back to bringing the fight, and it's going to catch a lot of teams off guard because now they're not used to seeing the Browns like this, and they're still trying to figure out who they're going to be with their new identity of a head coach as well. So I think actually the Browns is set up in perfect position to actually kind of steal the division this year, and I think they're actually going to do it.
Before I even get into it, you don't gotta. I'm the least most. You don't got to convince me too much. It's like your wife coming up saying, you know, babe, you need a new pair of shoes. I sure do. I sure do need a new pair of shoes. That's so nice of you. I'm gonna let Zach go because he done set up. His shoulders ready to go. Zach, what you got to say? He ready?
So, Tyvis, as you astutely pointed out, there were 3 coaching changes across the AFC North, right? The one in Baltimore was made because they thought they were going to win the Super Bowl. They didn't even make the playoffs. The guy had been there almost 2 decades. It was time. The one in Pittsburgh was made because they'd kind of plateaued. He'd been there even longer than the other guy in Baltimore. He thought it was time. Some in the organization thought it was time here. The coaching change in Cleveland was made because the offensive talent couldn't win the Alamo Bowl. So how is suddenly one coaching change going to win the AFC North?
And an offensive line change, and we got a first round.
Some older offensive linemen for some older offensive linemen.
We got 2 first round picks. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm listen. You sound like you don't trust the vision. You don't see the vision, Zach. See, you thinking small. You know, sometimes you gotta zoom. You gotta step back to see the whole picture. You too zoomed into it right now. You gotta step back and see everything that's going on. It's not necessarily exactly about the Browns. It's about other teams having to make changes too on the fly. And I think the Browns will steal the division this year. I just think it's up for grabs.
Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I don't think you too crazy. I'm actually picking up what he putting down, man. Because
thank you, man.
You know, we play Madden, right? And sometimes when you go to franchise mode and you build out your team and you select the coach, and they give you an archetype, right? Master motivator, offensive mind, defensive mind. And you said something that I totally agree with. I think that if I had to give Todd Monken an archetype, it would be a master motivator. And that kind of like goes well with what I heard Jimmy Haslam say about they felt like they had the talent to win more games this past season. And so how do you get more up out of that talent, right? And that's with better player development, better coaching, and better motivational tactics, right? And so if guys are already buying into what Todd Monken is selling and he got them kind of revved up internally to go out there and redeem themselves from a bad 2025 campaign, we all know the NFL is built off of parity. And every single year, it's always a team that shocks you, that blows your mind, that makes it to the promised land, that wins the division or just simply flat out makes the playoffs that you never seen coming. And there's always a team that you be like, there's no way in hell this can happen this year. And the Browns very possibly could be that no way in hell team for a lot of the reasons that you alluded to. The defense by itself can win you about 5 or 6 games, right? And so if you get a competent offense to go with that, I don't think it's far-fetched. Now, you are being codependent on the Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals not really having the success that you think the Browns can have, but crazier things didn't happen, and it's been a long time coming. So eventually that dark cloud got to move from up over the city of Cleveland someday, right?
Well, go ahead.
No, I said I respect that. I don't know. I just think that everybody looks at this as because we're so in the Browns need to lose. They need to get worried about 2027, getting a high pick in 2027. And I think what swung me over was hearing Todd Monken say like, we want to build a winning culture. We want to win games. You know, how you fix the culture, you win. And I feel like to me, like that is the best way to do it. Now, it might not help you, get one of these top premier generational talents, but I think when you win games and you're part of that mentality, like it makes things easier. Like it seems like guys want to be a part of it. It'll help in free agency. It'll help with trades. It'll help with the young guys coming into a winning culture. One of the things I told y'all last year, one of the things that was frustrating was, talking to my boy Q one day, and he was just saying like how he's not used to losing, like coming from Ohio State. And I think he said it in the media as well, like coming from Ohio State, like we won every game. So like, I don't know what this losing stuff is and I don't like it. Like that to me is like what you need. You need those young guys to be a part of that winning culture and understand how contagious it is. Jarvis Landry is very famous for saying how losing is contagious and that mentality of not practicing and all that stuff. Like that is a fact. And I think that is the only way the Browns are going to get themselves out is if they have to win. It might cost them the first pick. It might cost them Arch Manning or Dante Moore or whatever the heck you want to say. But to me, in the long run, is building a culture that we are winners around here. We going to take the fight to people. The best season they had in the last 10 years was when they finally had that aggressive mentality. And I just think Todd Monken is going to bring that.
You know what? I'm gonna give you credit for this because I was like, you know what, this might be kind of wild. But as everybody went and talked about it, I just looked at it. I said, okay, let me get into my bull. Jay Crawford bag. Now, before I say
that's what happens when you sit in the one chair.
Yeah, let me get into this bag real quick. Yeah, me looking around. If I look at the division on paper, if I'm looking at the division, I just saw the Cleveland Browns with nobody. They beat the Steelers at home last year, didn't they, guys?
They did.
I think Harold Fanning Jr. wasn't in that game. Quinshawn Judkins. Hey, the Steelers had something to play for, a playoff berth, and I thought the Browns won. Then you look at the last game of the season, right? Now, last time I checked, Joe Burrow was out there. T. Higgins was out there. Jamar Chase was out there. As a matter of fact, Brown was out there, and they was at home. I think the Browns won that game, right? If I'm looking at it, squinting, I could go back to the first game and say, if the kicker, he makes his kick against the Bengals, then that means the Bengals would have lost twice to you, right? So if you're looking at the division and you're looking around, do you believe in Mike McCarthy like that? The Ravens got to reset. They got to figure it out. Oh, and by the way, people say there's a lot of holes. Your boy, my man Halim, he hit me up. He said, G. Bush, yesterday I was talking to him. He hit me up. He said, G. Bush, let's talk about these magical holes that we got. He said, don't we got a running back? Yeah. He said, don't you got a number 2 receiver? I said, yeah, Jerry Jeudy, number 2, cool. He said, didn't you address your offensive line? I said, yeah. He said, don't you got 2 first-round picks that can address other things that you need to get? I said, yeah. He said, don't you got a stud tight end that's young? I said, yeah. He said, but what about the defense? I take the best defense in the AFC North, right? I said, yeah, you got Myles Garrett. He said, he said, so where's 4 wins? 5 wins. I said, you know what? I don't know. If you can get your special teams together. You lost 2 games last year on special teams. If you can get serviceable quarterback play and you can limit the turnovers, you can run the football, and you can get a Carnell Taylor offensive lineman. Hey, listen, Zach, I mean, that sounds promising to me. That don't sound
Zach
like I don't need 4,000 for Shador to get me, 8 wins? I need 4,000?
I mean, I'm looking for some paperwork here because you guys need a mental health day.
FMLA.
Don't you ask me why I didn't come to work today.
Look, the Browns fired the coach for several reasons. One of them being they thought they should have been a little bit better, right? And I do think with just expected improvements, organic improvements that talented young players make from year 1 to year 2 early in their career, I think with just little things in coaching and cleaning some things up, they can be better. But winning this division with this offensive personnel, guys, it's taking a leap and saying that special teams are automatically going to be much better. It's including that defense is going to be really, really good again. And I think it has the pieces to do that, right? Can you replicate all of that? I don't know. But winning the division is not winning 6, 7, 8 games, right? Maybe this division is a train wreck and it's 8 and 9 and your defense carries you, maybe. But I think we're in crazy talk. It's crazy talk with Tyvis Powell every Tuesday.
How many wins do you think it would take to get to the division? Because I think that's a big point.
I think realistically it has to be 9 or 10.
Yeah, I would say at least, Earl, I would say it's going to take 9.
Yeah, I mean, because the Browns and the Ravens both have rookie head coaches, right?
The Steelers don't have a rookie head coach.
Still don't have a rookie head coach, but first-time head coach in that organization, so everybody's trying to buy in. The Bengals is the wild card, right?
Right.
Because they do got Joe Burrow. Will they address their offensive line? Does Joe Burrow still have interest in playing football at a high level? Remember last year, he really wasn't in love with the game all like that. So crazier things than happen. I think it's going to take 9 to 10 wins to win a division as well. I think I see it more so as I like how Tyvis like articulated this point because it speaks to, man, they say broke is a mindset and a mentality. And so is losing, right? You can have no money in your pocket, but if your mindset is about going to get some money, well, you ain't broke because you don't have a broke mindset. And you, like Quinshawn said, like this losing thing, that's not me. He don't have a loser's mindset. And I think that winning changes the culture. And if Todd Monken is saying the right things and doing the right things, then yeah, that is going to get guys to buy in and play a little bit harder. I always talk about unwritten intangibles, right? You can't measure the size of a guy's heart when it comes to going that extra mile or putting in that work and doing the little things necessary. Todd Monken seems like to me, I don't know the guy, but he seems like to me like one of those guys who wears his emotions on his sleeves and a guy that, you know what, I got his back. I'm going to go to war for him. I'm going to go that extra mile. I'm going to put in that extra hour of lifting or whatever it is I have to do. And I understand, like, you know, football games is not always win and loss off emotions and things like that. You actually got to go out here and play the game on the field. But I am interested to see what Todd Monken can do with this talent on offense, because it seems like everywhere he's been been able to come up with a scheme that make guys look better, play faster, play clean. That's something that he talks about. I'm interested to see for the Cleveland Browns, how can you evaluate this roster and come up with a scheme that kind of unlocks everybody.
Tyvis, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds here. I'm going to give you the last word on this. How many wins did the Browns get, and where do you see them, you know, what win total for you gets the AFC North title?
I think that, honestly, I think that the AFC North this year is going to be similar to the NFC South, you know, where it's going to be a lot of, the records won't be as great. I think 10 wins solidifies it, but I think 9 gets it done.
Tyvis, we appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon. Did you get your shirt? Did it come to the house?
No, not yet. It said, I gotta go check my mailbox. It might be in my mailbox.
The pack came in. Came in this morning.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
Rosie took care of you. Hey, listen, we'll send you a Christmas card or a 4th of July card.
Last thing.
4th of July card.
How you feel about DG and the play-in tournament? You like what he, you know, how you feel about that? Your boy ain't really been looking all that great last week or so. Just thought I'd tell you.
I think it's a big moment for them out there. I think it's a big moment. I think that we'll find out, because they definitely gonna come after him because of his defensive liability. So we gonna find out who he really is.
Big 4-5. You know what it is, Ty?
Hey man.
Big 4-5. You know
Get out of here.
You know what's going on. You know what's going on.
Tyvis, we'll talk to
Good for
you.
him.
Same place, same time next week. We appreciate you, man.
Peace out.
Hey, listen, we got to get to it. Hey, listen, shout out to Tyvis Powell. He was delusional.
He's the best.
He's the best.
He
He always gives us something. Coming up, well, it's less than 2 weeks to the draft. It's about, 9 days now to the NFL draft. We will get to some of the names that you're going to see at the top of the list. Wide receiver, tackle. You'll be surprised the name is creeping up the list right here on UCSS.